views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Hi everyone, welcome to Mission BX. Mission BX is a collaboration between the Center for Bronx Nonprofits at Hostos Community College and BronxNet. And the goal of Mission BX is to show you the wonderful work being done by nonprofits throughout the Bronx. My name is Eileen Newman and I'm your host. And today we're going to be visiting people who work at Urban Dove. Unfortunately, we won't be able to see the school, but we'll meet some students and also one of the administrators at the school. So come with us to see a truly fine educational organization. Hi everyone, I'm Eileen Newman, as you know, I'm sure, and this is Mission BX, and today we're doing something that I don't think we've ever done on this show before. Despite the fact that there are many wonderful schools in the Bronx, this is the first school that we've gone to see, or gone to see people, not gone to see the school, but we'll come back to this school and we'll see it when we can really visit. So we have three members of the school family of Urban Dove. So we'll be talking about that, but first I'm going to ask everybody to just introduce themselves and just tell us what you do at the school. So Sharon, can we start with you?
I am Sharon Aiuvalasit and I am the school leader, the principal.
And Escalin?
My name is Escalin Santos. I am a student at Urban Dove.
And Ashlee?
Hi, my name is Ashlee Goodman. I'm the sports-based youth development coach for the Year 2 girls.
Great. So I want to hear about everything that all of you do, but I have a question first, and that is, and maybe Sharon, you might know, I don't know if Ashlee, you and Escalin know, how did the school get its name?
The school got its name from the Urban Dove program that existed before us. The Urban Dove program was started, I think, around 20 years ago as an after-school enrichment program for students. It partnered high school students with elementary school students. Ashlee actually was a youth staff person, not through the school, but through the organization. And it was just strictly that, to do an after-school mentoring program between high school students and elementary school students to engage both in meaningful after-school work that focused on teamwork, leadership, and communication, and youth development. So after the organization had been in existence, it was founded by Jane Anda for a couple of years. They realized they saw a niche after the work that they had done throughout the city, that students who failed the 9th grade, 15 or 16-year-olds who failed the 9th grade, didn't really have anywhere to go but to stay where they were unsuccessful. They could transfer to a transfer school, but they wouldn't take them until they were 17 or 18. So they had to kind of just keep failing until they could get to that point. And Jay realized that there was an opportunity to take 15 or 16-year-olds who had just failed the 9th grade and give them a reset and a restart and a new kind of program and get them successful to graduate in 3 years. So that's kind of where the school came from. And that's where our name comes from, is Urban Dove, from the Urban Dove organization. If you're looking for where Urban Dove organization came from, right, I don't know.
We'll find that out. We'll dig
yes.
into it.
Greater minds than I know that origin story.
It's such an interesting name. So Ashlee, I'm going to start with asking you some. So tell me your journey. It's so interesting, and I want to know what your job is in terms of the day-to-day, but I also want to know how you got here.
So when I went to Millennium High School, and at the time the Urban Dove office was around the corner, and they came to my gym class to like recruit students for after school. Not really a job, because we worked for like stipends at the end of the school year, but they gave us things like college readiness, SAT prep, and then just things that students and the young people need to keep busy. So like they took us on trips and exposed me to a lot of things. So when they came to my school, me and a couple friends went to orientation, signed up. They gave free pizza. That's the best way to get students.
Wow.
It's free food. And I've been a part of Urban Dove ever since. I went away in 2008. I graduated. I went to Lincoln University in Pennsylvania. And I remember the Urban Dove staff coming to visit me there and making sure I was settled in and acclimated. They took me to Walmart and helped me buy groceries. When I graduated, I came back and I worked as an assistant group leader for the summer camp at the time. And then I worked my way up to site coordinator in Harlem at PS7, where I was in charge of the young people, the youth staff, and ran trainings with them on how to facilitate after school with the middle schoolers at the time. Then I left and I went to early childhood education. I was a preschool teacher. But while I was a preschool teacher, I was in school to get my master's in youth studies. So when I graduated, I went to an alumni event and Jay was there, who's the founder of all of this. And he was like, Ashlee, it'd be great to have you back. Like, you should apply. We have job openings. And then I applied, and now I'm here now as a sports-based youth development coach. And Urban Dove has really been a huge part of my life, of my professional life. They've given me a lot of jobs, a lot of opportunities, exposed me to a lot of different things. Had it not been for Urban Dove, I probably would have never even went camping. I own a sleeping bag. So they've exposed me to a lot of things. So it becomes home after a while. They look out for you.
Yeah.
They help you develop skills and tap into skills that you didn't even know you had. So they gave me a lot of opportunities. And so when I went to the alumni event and Jay was like, Ashlee, like, you should inquire and look and see what positions we have. It was like a no-brainer because it had given me, Urban Dove had prepared me for so many things in the job field anyway, especially because I always loved working with young people. So it was a real quick, easy fit. It was almost like a perfect fit.
What a great story.
Yeah.
And Escalin, what made you choose Urban Dove, or how did that all happen? And what grade are you in? How long have you been there?
Well, I've been here for 2 years. I'm year 2.
Okay.
And my experience from getting here is that, so in 9th grade, I was in a high school and it was like I was failing classes. And I didn't really feel good about me failing classes. But at the same time, the teachers wasn't really teaching how, like, to actually teach the students. People didn't really understand. Like, there will be like 2 kids that actually pass the classes. And then I went to my counselor and said, hey, I can't really be in the school anymore because I'm failing. Like, I don't want to repeat. I don't want to do classes over again. And I was kind of stressed out about that. So then I gave him a recommendation saying a school that I went to before the school I went to. But then he said, hey, like, we have this school named Urban Dove. They have 3 years, they sports related, and a lot of things that caught my eye. And I was like, oh, okay, I want to enter that school. So then I finally start Urban Dove. Once you come in, it's just like welcoming. Like, I came in feeling so welcome. Everybody is just so energized, and they just want the best for you and stuff. So throughout my first school year at Urban Dove, like, I was doing good. I was starting off good. The teachers, they help you whenever you need it. Like, they do it pace-wise. Like, they're not rushing throughout the task. They're not trying to finish the stuff. Like, they're not trying to finish the task for themselves. Like, they try to figure out what's best for the students and what's fits for them before they can pass. And that's a thing that I love the most, because sometimes people learn slow, people learn fast, people learn this way, people learn that way. They see those different things in the student and they try to fit it in to help the students develop. So at first, like I said before, I had failing grades. I failed all my grades. And then I ended up passing with like a 3.7 and a 3.7 GPA, and I was very excited in myself because at the end of the day,
Right.
Yeah.
Good for you.
And Urban Dove, like, they make you feel like family, and they motivate you so much to the point that you just want to keep on striving and you just want to keep on doing what you have to do. And it's just like, I enjoy coming to school. Like, and especially during this quarantine, it's very sad because I don't get to be in the school, have the fun that we had last year, because it's like really sad, because it's like, wow, I really miss Urban Dove. Like, it's really like, it's like you're at home, and I really love it.
You know, every student in every school should say that about their, in New York City should say that. I mean, if we had a whole city full of students like you who felt that way, and people like you, Ashlee, and Sharon, who are doing the work they're doing, it would be such a better educational world. Because people should just feel, I sometimes think that when I talk to little kids, you know, they're so excited when they're little and they raise their hand when I used to be a librarian. And so, you know, I would see kids and they were so into books and I would think, what happens? So that was wonderful. And Sharon, I'm going to ask you the same thing. How did you get there?
Well, my story, I was an English teacher at a school in the Bronx called Urban Assembly School for Careers in Sports.
Oh.
And we ended up partnering with the after school program Urban Dove for as being their Bronx hub. They actually ended up coming in and getting an office space in our building. And so I worked very, very closely for years with the after school program. And when an opportunity came up for there to be a director of curriculum and instruction at the Brooklyn School, I was thrilled and applied for it and started working there. And 3 years into that journey, we decided to open up the school in the Bronx. And
Great.
I was lucky enough to be the founding principal here. So I have loved the mission of Urban Dove for years. And really, after having worked with a lot of students who have been unsuccessful in school, it's just really nice to be able to be in a place where we recognize that school is different for everybody and everybody can't do the same thing that everybody else does, and we have to make it unique to each student. And it makes education so much more rewarding when you can be part of that process.
Of course. So Ashlee, I'm going to ask you about the sports piece, because I have to say that when my friend Andrew started to talk about Urban Dove and got the job at Urban Dove, he said it was like one day he thought, this is amazing what they're doing here. And I know that part of that is the sports. So tell me how that's all, since obviously you're a big piece of that, how is that all integrated?
Well, if we think about how sports teams work and how like learning a sport works or being a part of a team it all directly applies to how our students learn, how they interact with one another, how the staff interacts with one another. And so we the principles and the foundation of Urban Dove almost perfectly align with the same principles and rules and things that you have to do when you're on a sports team. So it's interesting though, because we have a lot of students who are not really athletic and they're kind of put on a team, and we have to sort of learn the nuances and all of the things like that throughout the school year to make us become a team through sports, through the learning of a skill and the practicing and the communication and the skill building. All of that encompasses what Urban Dove's mission is about. So it's almost like a 2-for-1 special. I have girls on my team who never played volleyball before, but now they love it and they want to play it. And through the game of volleyball, they've now created some amazing bonds. They've also learned some really great skills. And so just the idea of like that teamwork aspect, that no one person is bigger than this mission and that everybody plays an integral part, is what we teach and practice here all day amongst the students and the staff. We have a lot of staff development. We have a lot of team building. Just to keep that camaraderie going, to let you know that, you know, if I need help, I can tap on this person, but to also know that what I'm not so strong in, my teammate is also strong and that they can help me build up that skill also, and I can learn from them. So just the exchanging of information, and then the skill set of just learning a sport and staying, fitness and being mentally healthy and physically healthy in a time like this is all super important.
Right. So we have to take a little break, and then we're going to come back, and I want to talk about, Escalin, I want to talk about what sport you like best, And then I want to talk about what the other sports are that are incorporated. So we'll be right back.
When taking public transportation, don't touch your phone. Carry hand sanitizer and use it immediately upon leaving the bus or train. Avoid touching your face. If someone is coughing or sneezing, move away. Wash your hands with soap and water as soon as possible. Limit contact with poles. If possible, avoid rush hour. Don't eat or drink on public transportation. Keep your bag off the floor or other surfaces. Avoid directly touching turnstiles. Stay up to date with the latest from your local health department and CDC.
So we're back with part of the team at Urban Dove, and we've been talking about how sports is incorporated into the school. So Escalin, I'm going to ask you, if you were somebody who was really interested in sports when you looked at this school, and if you weren't, what sports did you get interested in?
Well, before coming to Urban Dove, like the reason why I actually came to the school was because it was sports related. Because before I came to the school, I was in track, but I wanted to try new sports because the school I was in was mostly track and basketball. So that wasn't like really what I was looking for. So then I came to this school, and then they was doing basketball, track, volleyball, softball, and I'm like, what? Even like dance and everything else. So I was really intrigued into that. And so my favorite, I don't really have a favorite sports. I'm willing to play every sport that we are able to do. Like I've been in the volleyball team, I've been in the basketball team, and I'm hoping that we can have a softball team, but that's in the future. But yeah, but last year I was actually a captain in the volleyball team, and I really was like, I every time I play sports, I really like go out there and try to do my best. And then also like how Ashlee said before, like the sports helps the students a lot. Like there've been like students like when I first started school, there was like a little argument and stuff here or there, you know. But since we were a team, we were able to break out of that and build a bond and like just create a whole family. Like, and it's just amazing how just the topic of sports can create that in a school environment, and that's amazing. Like, yeah.
So Sharon, how are the sports integrated? Is it like a gym class, or does it happen at different times during the day, or?
So the way that it works is kind of the sports-based youth development principle, like Ashlee said, is the heart of the whole school. So the students actually travel in their self-identified gender teams. So they travel in their teams. So when Escalin is talking about her team, she takes all of her classes with her team. She takes, and then she has her SBYD sessions with her team. She does high risers for our after school program with her team. She does everything with her team. So so they're doing their quote unquote gym portion is our SBYD class, where they actually do the athletics for an hour and sometimes 2 hours a day. And then they have their inter-school competitions where they were a part of different leagues throughout the city. Well, we are in a normal year anyway.
Right.
And then we also compete against our sister school in Brooklyn in a normal year. So there's lots of places for competition, but really the heart of the sports-based youth development and the concept of teamwork, leadership, and communication is throughout the whole day in school. It's how they take their classes. It's how they interact with all of us throughout the day. So Coach Ashlee is their coach, and she runs their SBYD sessions, but she's also in the first 10 minutes and the last 10 minutes of every one of their academic sessions. She runs their community, along with the social workers, she runs their community circles once a week, which are about talking about timely issues and also team building and building that social emotional layer of support for all of the girls or the boys on the team. And so that's all a part of the whole day. So it exists everywhere.
What a great idea. because it's just the idea of movement and having that kind of interest. And so Sharon, did you have a sport is that part of your interest? Because
I am a terribly non-athletic person. I was never able to be on a team, but I am a diehard passionate Yankee fan with a huge baseball obsession. And I love all team sports. So I'm a great spectator. I am not a great athlete, but I did coach softball for a couple of years with Harlem RBI just because I love the team aspect of it. So I'm a great example of how you can love the communal and the teamwork and aspects of sports and be absolutely terrible at the execution. So it's still fun. You can find that's the message to the students. You can still find your place on the team, even if you're not very gifted.
It's the idea of the team. And Ashlee, what was your favorite? What do you?
I enjoy volleyball also, but I'm kind of also like Escalin, where I'll try a little bit of anything. And I have to attribute that to being a youth staff at Urban Dove, where they kind of force you out of your comfort zone. Like I said before, we do a lot of team building and icebreakers and things like that. And I remember being kind of insecure about it, like being athletic around people that I don't know and around boys, all those feelings. Yeah. And, running site and going to after school and then doing the camp portion, we do all of those games, both athletic and sporty, and then just fun, icebreaker kind of things, like I said. So it helped me just try a little bit of everything, but I do enjoy volleyball. Yeah.
And do you have, I don't know if I heard it, because I don't think, what about soccer? Soccer is such a big deal. It's not that I know that much about sports, but I know
we have had soccer teams in the past. We've kind of moved to flag football for our fall sport. You haven't heard that mentioned because the guys aren't here. The other teams that we have are flag football. We have a lot of basketball, and we're going to be doing baseball and softball. We just haven't gotten to that season at a time when we're allowed to have sports yet. But we'll have baseball and softball. But soccer is definitely something that our kids are interested in and something that we were looking to. It kind of competes with the flag football, but we did it in Brooklyn at one point.
So Sharon, we know that Escalin is a star. We hear about her grades. What would you say in terms of generally how the students, they're students who have come out of situations where they've felt failure. They're I would think sort of miserable about what school has offered. And they're in this incredible environment, and they have sports, and it can be energized. What happens academically?
So, the first thing is that I want to say is, yes, our students were miserable or felt unsuccessful in their previous school for a number of reasons. But the one thing we have to remember is that they all made the choice to come to us. Right. So they're all highly, highly motivated students who are in control and feel empowered to make great life choices. So they are all coming to us wanting to do well. And that's why I think we work, because they want the fresh start and they're willing to put the work in. And so in general, when you look at it, most of our kids, in order to come to us, they have to have accumulated less than 8 credits in their previous year of high school. And most of our students accumulate about 15. The most they can accumulate is 18, but most of them could accumulate about 15 in their first year. So that's a huge increase in that they're doubling the amount of credits that they had previously earned. Other students, but the same way as we have this task-based learning system where students move through it at their own pace, not everybody is able to make that complete switch the first trimester of a new school. But we stick with them. We have a lot of social emotional interventions that we do. We have wonderful social workers. We have a wonderful parent coordinator outreach that reaches out to do stuff with families. We're patient, and we give students the time to catch on and get into the program at their own pace. So sometimes students won't do great in the first trimester. They won't even do great in the second trimester, but by the third trimester, they're on point, and then they move to year 2 and they get even more on point. And in Brooklyn, for those 15-year-old kids that come in, we have a 70% graduation rate for them by 5 years, which is the rest of the city has a 32% graduation rate for the same population. We in the Bronx haven't had a graduation class yet. That'll be June, will be our first one. So I can't give you our personal data for that. But
yeah, and hopefully you can do it. And maybe if we actually have a vaccine and you get it, you'll be able to really do it
in person.
Sure. And I'm sure this has been an incredible challenge for everybody. I mean, I know it's been an incredible challenge. So, and how many students are in the school?
So currently we have about 240. We aim to have about 305. We're under enrolled this year for League One because of COVID, but we're still enrolling. So if anybody's seeing this, wants a fresh start, you can still get one with us.
I mean, that's part of, absolutely, that's part of what the goal of any of our shows are, is to highlight the work that's being done so that people can see it and say, hey, I didn't know about this, because schools are hard. Unless you're really looking for a school, it's a little tough to get the information that's out there. So, and what made the move to the Bronx? What made the school move to the, I mean, being in Brooklyn, what was?
We were in, I think it was year 6 or 7 in Brooklyn, or maybe, no, I'm sorry. We were in year 5 in Brooklyn when we started putting the application together, and we had so much success in Brooklyn that we knew we wanted to replicate and give more students in the city the opportunity to have a school like this. And the Bronx was just a natural fit because as an after school program, we had been in the South Bronx for so long, for years and years and years. We had relationships with schools already. We knew that there were students who were hungry for this kind of program. So it just seemed a natural fit to kind of come to where our after school home was for school number 2.
Right. So we're going to have to wrap in a minute. So I want you, so you said that you had in our break, you had found out how the name Urban, I don't know why I'm into this, but I love this name. So you have found out how that started.
So according to our founder, Jay Nanda, give credit where credit is due. At the beginning of when Urban Dove started, they were doing a lot of work in violence prevention in schools. So Dove seemed like a peaceful way of bringing in the image of Dove to that work. And then Urban was just because they were doing, he wanted everybody to know, and everybody wanted to know that this was city-based work, that it was work that was being done within the city. So they took Urban and they took Dove, and that's our name.
Yeah, it's a great creative name. So, and thank you all for taking time and doing this. And I really, I promise that once we can all be together, we'll come back when we can see some of your classes, Ashlee, and Escalin will hopefully come back. So you have would you be graduating with this group, or you have another year or so?
I have 1 more year.
Oh, we can make it to your graduation then. So.
Yes,
so.
She is definitely having a live graduation.
Yes, definitely will. So we'll be back for all of that. And thank you. It was great to meet all of you, and it's really exciting to hear about the school. I thought I would have liked that. And thank you for not only for doing this, but also for the wonderful work that you're all doing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, but that's all we have time for today. It would have been fun to actually see the Urban Dove School in action, and we'll go back there and visit when we can. But in the meantime, if you've missed a portion of the show or you want to watch it again, you can just look for Mission BX at BronxNet.tv. And we hope that you'll join us again the next time we go and visit a very special organization doing wonderful work in the nonprofit world of the Bronx.